Jose, we are so live. I love this. Monday nights, my little buddy Jose Partida. What's up, beloved Jose?
Hey Raheezy, how you doing? Is that
I,
a new hat?
it,
Alamo sent you some swag?
yeah, look at my swag, my Alamo Remedy swag. You're gonna like the back of this. It says the greatest country on earth with the
And
Texas
it's
flag.
Texas?
Isn't
Mm,
that cool?
mm.
Come on, we were a sovereign nation at some point. All
At
right.
least it's not a trucker hat, is it? It's not the mesh
No,
hat?
it's like
Good.
a dad hat, not a dead hat, a dad hat or dad
It's
cap or whatever they call
it's
it.
funny because me and you were just talking, kind of having our pre-show meeting before you went live. You didn't have the hat on, and I was looking on my phone, and I look up, you start to stream, and you're wearing the hat all of a sudden.
It's a magic trick.
So this is like the first time I'm seeing the hat.
Yeah, I got you. I've been wearing them for previous episodes because I'm representing Alamo Remedy, but you haven't noticed. You don't take
I
an
hadn't
interest in
noticed.
me
I
anymore.
hadn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it hurts. All right, let's get into it, man. It's been a busy week. You and I, although we talk on Monday nights, you and I communicate throughout the whole week because we're actually friends, and it's been a lot of fun roasting a lot of different things going on in the world of sports and social media, politics, everything else. But the first one I want to start with, and by the way, Jong Lee will join us at 9 p.m. So he's going to be joining us here in just a little bit. So hang tight. Let's talk about James Harden real quickly, all right? Because he caused the first major event of NBA Twitter to it was a true welcome back for NBA Twitter. Although the NBA bubble stuff was fun and it was cool and clean, this one was heated. It got
It
interesting on
was.
Twitter. Set up what happened for all the people that missed it, if just in case they don't know what they're talking or what we're
So
talking about.
teams have been reporting for a couple of weeks now to the bubble in Orlando at Disney World, and the Rockets showed up. I think 2 weeks ago now, and when the Rockets showed up, there was no Luke Mabute, there was no Russell Westbrook, there was no James Harden, and everyone started to wonder where the hell are these guys. And then early last week or late 2 weeks ago, time is a whirlpool right now. We find out that Russell Westbrook isn't there because he has COVID-19. And we hear nothing about James Harden. And we wonder, well, does this mean he has it as well? Well, whether or not he had it, we don't know yet. But he showed up to Orlando late last week. And on his first, on Friday afternoon is when he first was making the rounds. And of course, uh, social media is going to take anyone who runs, that's part of social media's job, right, to take pictures of everything.
Yep.
So pictures start circulating of him around Orlando, and he's wearing a mask that covers from his nose to the bottom of his beard, which, if all of you guys remember, James Harden has a long beard, and it is a Blue Lives Matter mask. It's an all black mask with a sort of grayish flag on there, and has the thin blue line, the blue stripe, and it has a lame Punisher skull. And
Remember when the Punisher skull, the Punisher people had to come out and were like, "Hey guys,
we don't
can you
not
stop?
we don't
Yeah,
endorse this.
yeah, can you not use this, please?"
It got to the point they were considering switching the Punisher's logo.
Yeah,
Uh, so yeah, James Harden was wearing this mask, and Twitter immediately just blew up and ran with it. And there was a lot of people that at this point in the world that we live in now still didn't understand what that mask means or what the Blue Lives Matter means, which I guess nothing should surprise me anymore. But how many people on Twitter seemed unaware of what it was, or
yeah.
what the purpose of that is, which is a counter movement that was made to undermine Black Lives Matter. Uh, it was kind of like, I was a little bit dumbfounded, I'm not gonna lie. And
Yeah.
I had
But real quickly, so that counter movement, remember, this was around 2015, 2016 where it started, right? Like this is where the counter movement started of Police Lives Matter, the blue thin line, all that stuff. And this was also in response, if I recall correctly, there were a few cop killings and shootings that occurred as well, right? So then people, I can tell you in my neighborhood, Now all of a sudden you're driving home and people have blue lights on, right? And we're all like, okay, man, we can't be killing cops either, guys. Like, cops that are just sitting in their cars, we can't do that. So the Blue Lives Matter movement started. And then that counter movement is important that you brought that up. That's where it got a little weird, right? Like with the Blue Lives Matter, okay. That started, people were like, hey, I think we all agree, like, we can't just go around killing cops either. Okay. Can't go let's not kill innocent people. Let's not kill people, period, if you don't need to, right? Like, can we all agree on that? Then the thin blue line stuff started where it's like the more, in my opinion, it seemed more like a militant approach. Like, all right, now we're going to start hunting down people. That's what it felt like. I don't think they did, but that's what it felt like. And then it got aggressive with the logo and all of that. So James wearing that and people tweeting it, going like, hey, why are you wearing this? Because you were just talking about Black Lives Matter.
Literally earlier that afternoon,
Yeah.
he was talking about George Floyd. And I feel like the part that I don't understand is there's no way no one he interacted with that day had no idea what that was. Like, they're just like, are people that clueless that they didn't know what that was? And even if you like you mentioned, let's not just kill people. It wasn't originally a counter movement. It became that. Even if that's the ground you stand on, shouldn't you feel like you'd have to be like, hey James, you know what that mask means, right? Or hey James, I appreciate you wearing that because it means, like, someone didn't say a thing to him. Like, it just doesn't make sense how he went a whole day wearing it.
Yeah, that man, somebody around, like, even the social media guys, and I know one of the social media guys, and I haven't talked to him about it because I'm sure he already got lit up for it or whatever, right? Because it started such a stir. But you're right. Like, somebody should have said, like, hey, James, the mask you're wearing, you might not be making a political statement.
But the mask is.
Like, it really is. And look, James didn't lose any sponsors or anything like that because he really had the benefit of the doubt here, right? Like, James was truly clueless about it, right? So there's two things at play here. One, he truly didn't know, all right? And that he's not that into Black Lives Matter as much as we think he is, right?
I don't think it's even as much as we think it is. It's as much as, like, it's kind of been clear, like, James, like, and we don't need him to be, but James isn't, like, the biggest social activist. That's never been his thing. That's never been what we know him for. So it's not like it's just I know we should give people the benefit of the doubt, but it was kind of, with him especially, was kind of like, are we not surprised? Like,
yeah. And so, and then
he
number
didn't have self-awareness. It's kind of what you'd expect from him.
Number two, like, let's think about who he interacted with, right? You pose this question: who is he interacting with? He's interacting with the mask on specifically, right? Because you're walking from your room to the practice courts, going to the bus or whatever it is. You're running into some of the team personnel. You're gonna see some of the players, and the fact that a lot of people didn't know about this, to me, it like in 2015, yes, it was really big. Have we seen that logo? Have we seen the thin blue line stuff like really go mainstream in the last 2 years, 3 years?
I don't know if mainstream's the correct I don't know if it's mainstream, but if you pay attention to the protests that have been going on for years on and off, it always becomes a thing because there will always be counter protests, and that is always what's going on at counter protests. So maybe it's me having been aware of it for years because I've paid attention to the protests for so long. But I guess what I'm saying is no, I don't think it's gotten to the point where it's officially mainstream, but it's to the point where those who care and those who know or are spending the time to educate themselves about these issues know what that means.
See, I think the counter symbol now, when you look at Black Lives Matter and those who oppose it, like, if you're looking at truly the symbols that are opposed against it, it's a red cap, right? With the "Make America Great Again."
Yeah.
To me, that's like that. If you see that, like if you wore that to a rally and a few people did, or to the protest, they were, they were yelled at and sometimes physically abused, right? Like they got theirs. Um, I didn't see any thin blue line stuff at rally pictures or protest pictures, right? Like I don't remember seeing that many. But again, this isn't to excuse him for not knowing. You should know. But I think it truly with James, it came down to he really doesn't care about anything. And he really, like, when you first sent it to me, I think I told you, I was like, there's no chance James knows what this represents.
No, and I'm with you.
Yeah.
And Josh told us that day we can't let him slide for that if we were going to kill Drew Brees. And I think there's a I think there's a point to that, but at the same time, James is showing us time and time again. It's just kind of like everything's kind of like whatever him. As Andrew mentioned in the chat, all he cares about is hooping and going to strip clubs.
Yeah, and he's never tried to fake it otherwise.
Right. And
Right? Like
wouldn't we hate him more if he was trying to fake it?
yes,
If he was
absolutely.
being disingenuous about it, because then he'd be killed for this more than he already is.
Yeah.
And it's just like to me it raised a separate issue, which is we need people just are so scared to hold their idols accountable for dumb stuff that they do. And trust me, we're going to get to that later on the podcast today.
Ooh.
But whether it was Drew Brees earlier this year, or now James Harden and the Rowdies just like crying to the point where I had to unfollow and mute several like different Rowdies. It's okay to admit the person you stand did something stupid. Like no one's going to revoke your fan card.
No.
It's okay to hold people accountable for the dumb shit that they do.
And if you hold James accountable or Drew Brees accountable, guess what? It's not like they're gonna see you holding them accountable and be like, you know what? I'm never hanging out with Jose now.
Yeah,
They're not gonna hang out with you anyways. Okay, so like, stop. That's the other thing that's so worrisome on the internet, in sports radio. I used to make fun of Blitz listeners for this, right? Like they would go snitch on people and hey guys, they were saying this. They're not gonna hang out with you guys. Like, I'm sorry, it's James Harden isn't going to hang out with you, or will hang out with you if you defend him, right?
Right.
So just be honest about what's happening. Here's the third thing I want to talk to you about. So then Young Thug tweets.
Yes.
Okay, Young Thug, who, if you don't know who he's a rapper, entertainer. I don't have the exact tweet, but the biggest
I have it, baby.
Okay,
I have
it. Read it censored, please, because I don't want to say certain words in there. But read the tweet. Read the tweet.
Okay. He doesn't use punctuation on this, so I had to read it like 20 times before I understood what he was saying. So Young Thug tweeted, just so you know, James Harden is my brother. ... By the way, he don't have internet, so he obviously don't know what's right or wrong. If he posted something that's against us, there should be punctuation there. There isn't, but so far I feel like it makes sense. ... But I hate when rappers get in Bleep's business, like it's can't happen to them. Busters let Bleeps clear their Bleep up activist.
I'm so confused. The biggest takeaway is that James Harden doesn't have the internet.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing to come out of this.
Yeah, and I think he meant social media, right?
Well, maybe he's Amish. That explains the beard.
It could. So if he doesn't, okay, I'm going to play the game. I'm going to play the Young Thug game, right? If he truly does not have the internet, where did James Harden buy the mask? Okay, so let's play a little logistics game. Okay, I have it.
So I had thoughts about this.
Okay, I'll do my scenario first. Okay, this again, you can't order this on Amazon. You can't go to thinblueline.com or mycountrymyrights.com or comeandtakeit.com or whatever the website you order that gear from, right? The mask from.
Right.
The only place I've ever seen that mask for purchase is at convenience stores.
That's what I was going to say.
That's the only place I've seen it. Here's why. I have friends that own convenience stores, and they will sell, and they own it in very red counties, and they will sell these, right? Like they're gonna make money off of this.
They'll sell MAGA hats if they have to.
Oh, absolutely. They do. They're like, hey, it's free money. We're going to sell it, right? If people are going to buy it, call them a sellout, whatever, but they're going to make money off of it. That's the only place I've ever seen that. I've never seen it at a retailer. I've never seen it at a pop up or anything. The only place is like an independent gas station, not even a Chevron. It can't be brand affiliated. This is like a random store, okay? Um, so he was running late for his flight, and he's of course James is not wearing a mask. We all know he's not. This is the same guy that was working out with like 8 to 10 dudes when the pandemic first started,
Right.
right? He's not wearing a mask. So he was on the way to get his flight. He's like, "Oh wait, I got to get a mask." They pull up to the gas station that's near Ellington or Hobby or
Damn it!
Bush.
You stole my scenario.
Dude, bro, I got the exact thing down because I've been in his shoes where you forget something, where you're catching a flight, you're late, and you roll up to the convenience store and you're paying $10 for toothpaste or whatever it is,
Right.
right? My dude, the first thing he saw was that cool mask. It's popping. It's the last one left. He picked up that one and he wore it. That's
It
it.
covers his whole face.
Yeah,
He's in there.
that's it. That's the only scenario. And I know for a fact that the Houston Rockets gave players masks. Like I've seen them.
So what you're saying is the Rockets gave him that mask.
No, what I'm saying is James had a
I feel like
mask
that's
and
what
he
you're
forgot
saying.
it. No, the Rockets didn't give him that one. Although follow
Tillman
the
could have
money.
follow the money.
Why would you tweet that picture?
That's the thing. That's another thing. Like there's so much to this.
Yeah,
Like
it was so dumb, dude. I
their
can't believe
social
they tweeted it.
their social media person has to be a young person, right? Because
Yeah, it has to be.
typically when pro teams hire people to run their social media, oftentimes they're kids out of college. So it's typically young people. So it should be someone who is somewhat aware of what it meant. So that was the craziest part to me, is that the clearest picture that's all over Twitter came from nowhere else but the Rockets' social media accounts.
You couldn't tell what mask he was wearing up until that picture, right? I couldn't.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
probably so. I'd have
Yeah.
to go back, but I think so.
Yeah, I couldn't see. Like you could tell that there was like a skull on it, but I couldn't tell it was a thin blue line one. I couldn't until that clear picture that they tweeted out, and then he gets destroyed that night. It was Wednesday night or Thursday.
It was Friday night.
Friday night. Okay, Friday night.
I think so. Yeah.
He gets destroyed. Then the next day, after he gets destroyed, clears everything up. Mayor Sylvester Turner retweets the picture. And it's just like, he's just, hey guys, just want to let you guys know, wear a mask. And you're like, dude, now you're going, Mayor, is there somebody on your communications team that isn't on Twitter and didn't see that James was trending and he had to issue a statement the next day regarding his mask?
Yeah, that's probably the worst offense out of everything we just talked about.
Was the mayor?
Sly Turner's social media team just totally missing what happened the night before.
Man, what a disaster! But I want to so I want to get serious with you for a second because there are some other things on this, and I know we're going pretty long on the James Harden mask thing, but this is more about social justice, and I want to talk a little bit about the movement, right? Like, there's this movement, right? The Black Lives Movement that people are finally paying attention to. Right. And like, you can't ignore it. People that are like, oh, hey, you're disrespecting the country and disrespecting the flag and all that. Fine. That's your opinion. That's cool. I'm not going to hate on that because that's your opinion. But if you're cool with it, can we just say like, hey, okay, beyond that, here's why players did this. Now here's what players are fighting for, this and that. The other thing that rose from this was, if James is wearing this or James is not up to date on what is happening, why he's wearing it, then he's discounting the movement. And then the second layer of that was the anti-Semitism stuff that came out last week with Steven Jackson, Deshaun Jackson,
Nick Cannon.
And Nick Cannon was the most recent one. People that already don't understand what the movement is, and like they were forced to say, okay, I kind of understand the movement. Now saying, oh, well, them saying this discredits everything that's happening with Black Lives Matter. That was the stupidest stuff, in my opinion.
And And I agree with you 100%. And that's been the disheartening thing of watching white media people, because that's who it is. At least in from my optics, because that's who I follow on social media. Uh, Wanting to just be outraged about everything Deshaun Jackson said, which frankly they should be. Uh, he quoted freaking Hitler. Like, of course you should be
Yes.
mad at him about that. But using the Black Lives Matter movement as your pawn to prove your point is disgusting, frankly. Like,
It's weak.
it's
It's not.
something
It's
you don't
dumb.
care
Yeah.
about. It's something that you don't understand, and to try to use it as a pawn to make your point is disingenuous, and it makes you look like a fraud.
You know what it does to me when people that do that, they don't want the Black Lives Matter movement anyways, frankly. Like you're kind of showing that you're a little racist, okay? I'm not saying you're full racist. I'm just saying that you probably haven't sat down and thought about your own thoughts yet. Okay? Like maybe you're too immature, maybe you're not ready for that conversation because when you start discrediting things based on what one person said or a couple of people said, and you're discrediting the whole movement, even though the same person, we're talking about Steven Jackson specifically, him being so part of the George Floyd story, and he spoke about it so much that when he backed Deshaun Jackson, it turned into oh, well, look, we can't listen to you about Black Lives Matter because you just backed Deshaun Jackson. Like, no, that to me is it's an easy cop out for a person that was already
Not
looking for a
interested.
way out. Yeah, like they were
Right.
looking for a way out to discredit the Black Lives Matter movement. And that
I,
is the weakest thing to me.
yeah, I'm with you 100%, man. It's
Yeah.
very frustrating and I've seen this on Twitter. People legitimately say, if we're going to be mad at Drew Brees and say what he did was hateful, then we need to say the same thing about Deshaun Jackson, which is, yes, absolutely. Both of those things were wrong. But
Yes.
2 weeks ago, you wouldn't admit what Drew Brees did was wrong, or at least if you didn't think it was wrong, acknowledge that it was problematic.
Yeah.
So again, it's as you're saying, as I'm saying, the movement isn't your pawn. So stop trying to make it your pawn.
That's it. I think that's as beautiful as you can put it. It's not your pawn. Don't look for little reasons for you to personally be out. Like, oh, now see, I can't get behind this because you got no, like, dude, come
Oh,
on.
the guy who voices Cleveland Brown doesn't wanna voice him anymore. Oh, that's a distraction. Like, shut up.
Yeah, that's
Like,
not a distraction. It's a distraction for you because you're making it a distraction and you're looking for a reason to get out. That's it. Like, to me, it's just trying to find an out for something that you're not interested and don't care about. And frankly, just be honest about that. Be like, hey, look, to me, I can't relate to the Black Lives Matter movement. That's it. And we're talking about people that were tweeting this, like, hey, the whole conversation we had, just say that I can't relate to it. I'm not educated on it and I have no thoughts on it. Just say that. It's okay. It's all right to say I don't know. I'm not educated on this, or I'm
don't say
frankly,
anything.
it doesn't impact my life. And that's fine. Just don't say anything then. But don't start discrediting people and what they're fighting for right now because of a statement that was stupid. It was hate driven because of what they said. Like, to me, that's just weak. Okay. I'm done with the serious stuff on that. Let's get a Kanye West. Since we're on this train real quickly. I'm officially done. Like, I think I said this.
Really?
I've said this to you before.
No, you haven't.
I'm like, it's just dumb now. And I know people who are still backing Kanye are going to say, hey, man, he's mentally sick. Hey, man, this is a mental issue. No, dude, at this point, I'm not going to give you that out. I'm sorry. You know what you're doing. He's a free thinker now. And what he's doing is he's thinking out bits. He's thinking out things that he's like, hey, man, you know what? Did Harriet Tubman really do anything? Like these thoughts that you have that you're kind of working through your head. And you're like, oh, man, I mean, like, I don't think she did. And like,
He
here's the
doesn't
reason.
finish the cognitive process. He just
Yeah.
kind of stops.
He does that process out loud. And that is so
Yeah.
frustrating. It's like it's embarrassing at this point. And this isn't a mental health thing. This isn't, hey, I'm making fun of mental health or not taking it serious. Like he has real issues and all that. No, dude, if you have that, then work on yourself because you're working on 70 other projects right now, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's
it was sad to see that.
yeah, these I actually was thinking about this morning. At what point do we talk about his mental health issues and separate it from the fact that he just believes outlandish things now? Or maybe
Yeah.
he's always believed these outlandish things and he just didn't talk about them. But there's a clear separation there that we've been shown this year from his presidential platform, and it's sad, man. It's really sad.
It's look, he announced a new album, all right? And that's another thing. This is again like Kanye's allowed to do whatever he wants, right? Like it's his freedom. If he wants to run for president and do that, fine, whatever, man. And if he's going to take votes away, fine, whatever. Like that, I don't care about that side of stuff, okay? Because in the grand scheme of things, him running for president isn't going to decide if Biden wins or if President Trump wins. It's not like the votes are going to be so negligible, in my opinion. But what it does do, it takes away from the conversation we need to have, right? Like, hey, President Trump did this interview yesterday and he's not sounding sane either, by the way. This whole like, Joe Biden is senile
Dementia
old man.
Joe,
Yeah,
right?
dementia Joe, all that. You're like, hey, guys, everyone, look at this real quickly. This is also happening. It's getting so crazy. Instead, we're all like talking about Kanye West saying ridiculous stuff again. And he did this 2 years ago. He did it 4 years ago. This is just Kanye now. Now, the question, and I asked you this last time too, is are you going to listen to his music when he drops a new album?
Oh yeah, I'm still going to listen. I'm going to listen to that first listen for that first listen. But I frankly don't really like his music anymore. But him being historically one of my favorite artists ever, I'm going to listen to the songs just to know what they sound like.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm almost certain I'm not going to like it. That's just the way. That's just the way it is. I still listen to Eminem's music, despite the fact I haven't liked an album for him, an album of his for a long time. Like it's just what it is. I'm still going to give it that first listen, knowing the fact that I'm probably not going to like it.
I don't even know if I'm going to do the first listen now, man.
You are.
I know I will, but I don't want to.
You are, dog. It's all right, man.
It's like we put so many years into his musical career, and that's the other part. Is like, can we separate it now? Can we still separate the musical Kanye from the ridiculous Kanye? Because we've done it before. I've done it before.
Yeah, we've had this conversation for like 2 years now, me and you. If we could or we couldn't. I've said 2 years ago I couldn't, and it's hard, man.
It really is. Let's talk about the Redskins story real quickly. Jong Lee's going to join us at 9 p.m. So in just a couple of minutes. But you wanted to talk about the Redskins story that came out over the weekend.
Right. So there was a really heartbreaking story on the Washington Post that came out Thursday afternoon. 15 different former employees accusing them of sexual harassment, and we were essentially waiting on this story all week. And the reason we knew there was a story coming all week was because different media, different NFL media, whether national or locally there in DC, were just hyping up the story all week with eye emojis or "Whoa, y'all won't believe this story when it comes out." And then Reddit just runs with it and drops these just ridiculous theories about Dan Schneider paying off referees and stuff like that, and some other stuff that was already kind of out for like 2 years now, like the sexual harassment with the cheerleaders. That's something we knew about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's been going on there. And so the story comes out Friday, and there's people like Jason Whitlock and people like Darren Rovell saying, "Oh, that's it? Like this is the bombshell?" Like the way the media handled this leading up to the release of that article, and I think it's important to note, it wasn't anyone who worked for the Washington Post who was doing this. Was very irresponsible and frankly kind of disgusting, the way people just either they were acting as if they wanted to be part of the inner circle that pretended to know what was going on, or they're just idiots and didn't realize this is a terrible thing that's now being undermined because it in fact wasn't Dan Schneider paying $2 million to referees or benching an offensive lineman that ultimately led to Alex Smith getting hurt, which was another one of the Reddit theories. Like,
I saw one of the conspiracies that I saw, like, oh, you guys won't believe it, sex trafficking.
Right.
I was like,
Dan Schneider and God, what's Jay Gruden were on Epstein's list. Was one of them.
It was ridiculous, man. Like, people wanting to make it a bigger story, and this was almost like they were in on this, where, hey, let's build it up so much so when like the paying off the refs, the sex trafficking stuff doesn't come true, and it's just 15 women talking about the culture and how they were assaulted in it, and that's all people get, people will move on. It felt like that.
And frankly,
and you're like, this is a disgusting story.
Right.
And
I mean, the story
like, nobody talked about it.
I watched
First Take. Yeah. I watched First Take today. I had SportsCenter on, ESPN on today. I didn't see one mention of it.
It's over already.
Dude.
Like the news cycle has already moved on from it.
And the other thing was, it had to be so disgusting that Dan Snyder had to lose his team. That was the other angle. And when people found, like, in the story, the parts that I read, and I read 3/4 of it, and one of the blurbs I remember, or one of the paragraphs, excuse me, was, while Dan Snyder didn't do any of this, and he might have known, we can't for sure say that he knew. So, like, it didn't even hold, like, Dan Snyder he wasn't a big part of this, right? So when people saw that, they're like, oh man, now because he ran the team crappy on the football side, we can't. And now he's not gonna have to sell the team.
That was the basis
of different things. Yeah,
that was the basis of Darren Rovell's dumbass tweet. Was, sorry, Redskins fans, this isn't going to get him to sell the team. Like,
it's so bad, dude. It's so bad. Like, some of the things that are happening right now. And look, I still love Twitter, but man, it's sometimes you just have to scroll past it. And I think Nuno is going to bring Darren Rovell on the ABC 13 stream that we do. So when I can't wait to talk to him about the XFL tweet he put out. I have a bone to pick with him about that. But that's just how Rovell is now. At this point, just unfollow him.
He caught the block. He finally caught the block from me.
He caught it from you?
He caught the block.
Okay, we made our guests wait a little bit longer than we wanted to, bringing in
our
man, Jong Lee. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how's my levels?
Great.
You sound good. Look at you. Are you living in LA right now?
No, I'm at home.
Look at you.
Everything
all
is white. It's making me very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Your mic's white. Your headphones. No, it's just everything's white.
Dude, you look like you're from the future right now. What mic are you using?
It's a Yeti mic.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, God, what's wrong with the lights?
Oh, well, my wife is trying to adjust. Is that too bright, or was
no, you're good. I was just caught off.
No,
I was taken aback by all the white. Everything is white.
Damn. Yeah, look at y'all. White headphones for those of you listening on the audio side. White mic, white headphones, white everything. I like it, Jong. I love it. How you been, man?
I've been doing all right. It hasn't been too different for me since I'm in school now, since I do all online classes. So it's since quarantine hit and everyone's on lockdown, or most everyone's on lockdown, nothing's changed too much for me. What about you guys?
I've been okay.
So I don't know if Raheel doesn't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
Join the club. A job. Yep. I was put out, and minority, the minority, Jong, the minority's gone, Raheel, the minority's gone, and now Jose's the only minority left there. So, and Del. So, it's been interesting, dude. I've been unemployed for 2 months, but I'm doing some side stuff, and this podcast has helped keep me busy. I've got another project I'm working on. It's called My Daughter, like I said last week. So that's good. And then, I'm starting to figure out that when you're not working and when you do a lot of things, and you have time, it's really weird.
Mhm.
Like now I have time. Like today, I had time to watch stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of bored now. I'm getting kind of bored because the podcast wasn't until night, right? So I got to figure out to not get bored. So that's my biggest thing right now.
Yeah, school's been just kicking my butt, and it's I finally finished the summer semester, which is 10 weeks long, and I finally get to sit back and do nothing. I get to watch what I want to watch, play games, and I got about a month until fall kicks back up.
Man,
So
what are you
what is
going
it
to
that?
school? Yeah, sorry, what are you going to
Yeah,
school for?
that's what I was
I'm
gonna
getting
ask.
my master's in journalism.
Ooh, look at you, masters
Watch
in
out,
journalism.
big shot over here. Do you
Wow,
even journalism, Raheel?
man, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to teach?
Yeah, I'm planning on teaching, and I think high school is going to be where I'm going to start, and I may move to college. But the thing is, though, like I've done some research, and honestly, the life of a high school teacher is much better than the life of a professor. Even though I have to go through a PhD program to teach at a university, but even then, though, like most universities are moving towards adjunct professors and instructors where they're not full time. So you're like bouncing between different institutions, and you're
Right.
getting paid like I don't know. You can get paid more doing high school stuff than you can at a university, and I'm just like, okay, I might just it might be less stressful at a high school, especially if you have a master's degree. You command a little bit more money, and you get summers off, whereas university professors have to do research on during the summers and whatnot. So
I got connects at UHD. I got you. You could probably
Yeah.
start teaching there tomorrow,
You
truthfully,
can-
with the way things work at UHD.
Yeah.
you can teach the next generation of Jose's. That'd be awesome. There's a lot of high school because when my stuff went public that I got laid off,
Mhm.
a lot of listeners and people started reaching out to me like, hey, you should do this and that. One in particular was like, dude, you should really think about going into high school teaching because a lot of the bigger high schools, John, you know this with your research, they're all starting sports media programs.
Mhm.
It's crazy. Like in Austin, all those big schools around Austin, they have openings right now for sports media professors or teachers because so many schools they have the money, they have the resources to start teaching kids about sports media right now, and they've got the athletic program to do it with. Like you're covering a
Yeah.
big team, right? Lake
Yeah.
Travis, Caparis Cove, or whatever. So that's the next big trend is high school sports media classes, not college anymore.
Yeah, and anyone could, pick up and start a podcast. It's just you sit down, you just have
Hey,
a
you don't have to
laptop.
insult us. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
We're
Hey,
professionals here.
gosh,
We're
John.
professionals, but you could just pick up and start something with your friends, and then go from there. Start building your I guess your media savviness or whatever you want to call it. Your first chops at media, and you can pick up from there. And kids nowadays, the Zoomers are now Jose. I think Jose's a Zoomer, right?
No, I'm a millennial.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
But so I mean, they're so savvy with tech and TikTok and Twitter and Instagram that you can start your own media brand right out of high school if you wanted to.
In
And
high
they're
school.
really good. Yeah, they're really
Yeah.
good.
Like, dude, there's kids making millions of dollars. There's like kids my daughter's age making millions of dollars.
Yeah, there's like monkeys on TikTok making millions of dollars. It's crazy. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm on TikTok, but like I just I'm on it to just watch videos and whatnot, and give China my information. But yeah, this is there's people like Jason Derulo makes about 70,000
yeah.
per. He makes 70,000 per TikTok video.
Doing what?
Just
posting.
silly stuff.
Yeah.
He
So
broke.
he'll dance and be like, and it's brought to you by Alamo Remedy CBD, and that's it.
No, he doesn't. I don't think he promotes anything. He's just the number of viewers that he gets. He just gets paid.
So TikTok pays him.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how the pay structure works, but like
No, usually pay structure will be you've got a sponsor paying you, right? Like the Alamo Remedy, they sponsor this podcast, so they pay for whatever sponsorship we have. Same thing with if you think about Jason Derulo, they probably Ritz crackers. Hey, and he puts a product placement in there, just like what we did in sports radio, right?
Yeah.
Endorsements. So, man, that's interesting that he's getting that much on TikTok already.
Yeah, I got corrected by Teresa. She said 75,000.
How much did you say?
I said 70.
Oh, damn. 75,000. That
Yeah,
extra five, I could use that extra 5,000. So
yeah, me too.
I'm not going to make fun of it.
Jose's the only one making some money right now.
If we all went to dinner today, who would pay for dinner?
Jose would.
Right?
No, would I pay for
okay, yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, Jose would for sure.
Raheel, you're probably making more money on unemployment than I am.
We call it fun employment. Okay. Because I always pay. I'm like, if I'm the oldest one there, I always pay for dinner.
Oh, so you're paying for dinner then?
But if I had a job. So with that being said, get your spicy boy mask. I only have 5 of them left. Link in the bio.
I feel like you've had 5 for a very long time.
No,
no, it's been going down steady. Like,
oh, okay.
We've had some people rebuy because they liked it so much. They're like, hey, I think I'm gonna rebuy a couple. So there you go. Look, Jong.
Yeah, Jong, where's your mask, Jong?
Oh, Jong. Anti-masker. I do it, Jong.
No.
Whoa.
I use those surgical masks, the blue and white ones.
How was it today when you were protecting the Sam Houston Monument, huh? Jong, congratulations. You guys hit a big milestone on ComiCast.
Yeah, 300. It took us about 3 years to get there, It's been fun. I wish while I was at Gal that they were able to sell it. Not to gloat anything, but it was one of excluding the Blitz, I think it was the most listened to original podcast on that platform. But it's about the same in terms of like listenership. I check numbers here and there, and we're doing all right. It's mostly for fun. I wish I could get Alamo Remedy to sponsor, our podcast. But
I got you. For real, I'm serious because you guys. I forgot to reach out to you guys. I'll set you up with them. For real, you guys do a great show. You guys have a passionate following, and you guys are consistent with it. And that's half the battle is the consistency. Hell, Jose, you and I are guilty of that. We weren't consistent with it until we had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So like you guys being consistent with it has been awesome to see that and to see your passion.
Yeah, I mean, we try to do it twice a week. With school, summer got a little crazy, so I had to tell Michael that I could only do once. But once all this is, once it kind of calms down a little bit, maybe next week I'll go back to 2 a week. But he's Michael does a fantastic. Michael, you guys know Michael's just the hardest working person at that station, at that company.
If only his internet worked as good as him.
That was the only issue. His internet sucks. Well, Gal's internet sucks because he was at the station when he was doing it. He did our show. We had an intro for him just to let you know which co-host we like more. We had a whole intro for him and everything, and his Wi-Fi just sucked, dude.
Or my Wi-Fi is pristine, I think.
And we still got flagged for for Michael's anyways.
I know. We played an MGMT song, me and Michael, and we got in trouble. We're like, dang.
So when does Jose get his name on the podcast?
We're working on it.
That's a good question, actually. Now that this was kind of like hey guys, I'm on this podcast, and it's kind of cute that my name isn't on it. It was kind of like the beginning of SVP and Rosillo, right? Where it was just SVP show first, but eventually Rosillo got his name on the show.
Yeah, he did. You're right.
Just saying.
And then it became the Rosillo show.
Yep. And then Rosillo left. So
then Rosillo got so plastered he slept on a total stranger's couch or whatever.
He actually left because he wanted to go into writing. I will defend Ryan Rosillo. I like Ryan Rosillo. Don't you dare take shots at him, Jose.
Don't take that career path, Jose.
He never responds when I text him, so he can go sleep on someone's couch.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to respond to you. Okay, let's talk about a few comic book and superhero / TV shows that we want to talk to you about real quickly. Jose, start it up.
All right, so I wanted to actually share a story with Jong, but we'll probably have to say that till the end. The first thing we want to talk to you about is The Boys season 2. So we got the trailer last week, right?
Mhm.
Or the week before, and we found out that we're not getting the complete season, and I was kind of annoyed by that. I wanted a complete season because honestly, that was probably my favorite show to come out in the last couple of years until Watchmen. And we'll get into this with you, Jong. Me and Raheel finally watched Watchmen, but I was a little annoyed by the fact that season 2 isn't rolling out all at once.
I mean, I was a little upset at first too, but looking at from Amazon's perspective, it's a smart move. You get people talking about your show longer, and I think the Last Dance. I don't know for a fact, but I can almost guarantee you that the Last Dance had some kind of influence on how they're releasing it. It could be because post-production is taking a little longer than expected because of COVID, but my guess is that they're doing it just so that you get your fix at the very beginning, and then every week you get people talking about it, looking forward to watching it,
Right.
and they get to show their stockholders, hey, our stream numbers are through the roof with every week because of the show. And you're right, it's probably my second best favorite show of last year. I'm with you. Watchmen was my favorite show of last year. So it's I'm excited. My expectations are a little tempered a little bit just because I feel like there's no way that you top season 1. Season 1 was so great, and it was so unexpected.
Unique. Yeah. I think the streaming decision has to be made more. I think the more comparable thing would be The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Right. Because The Last Dance, we all watched. It was on cable television. Everyone has cable now, so it was a common viewing experience. But with streaming stuff, it might come on Friday night. You're not going to watch till Saturday. I'm not watching till Sunday, so you don't get that communal experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Mandalorian is a good example because they released 2 at first, and then they released it every week, and the numbers were building up, which is great. And then you get the second wave of people finding out about the show and whatnot. So I can see it, man. It's the right business move. It really is. Until you're Netflix, that's the way to do it. Netflix has a built-in audience now that they've been cultivating for 15 years that they can drop Stranger Things on one night and who cares? Like their numbers, their stock isn't going to drop. There's going to be no issues. They're cool. So you have to pace yourself if you're a newer streaming service like Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, so on and so on. The Peacock, what's up? I subscribe.
Do you really? What's on there?
Let me get that login. That is so annoying. Everything
it's free. You don't need a login. Everybody has a login. It's free. It's the People's Network.
You don't even have I don't know if you guys are. Not a lot of people are friends of Friends, or they're not fans of Friends, but that's the biggest Peacock show of all time, I would feel like, and they don't even have the rights to that. HBO Max does.
HBO Max, yeah. And is HBO Max out now or what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not on the Fire Stick though.
It's not coming out until the Snyder Cut is released for me. That's when I will start looking for logins. Right? Like what do I want to watch on there right now? There's no originals.
No.
They have a couple of those DC universe shows, don't they, John? I know they have Doom Patrol.
Not on HBO Max. So that's on.
I thought they did.
That's on their DC Universe app.
I could have sworn they put Doom Patrol on.
I don't think so. I mean, I'll double check because I have it
on HBO Max.
Yeah, but I know DC Universe has a couple of shows, and then they're moving like Stargirl to CW, which means RIP Stargirl. Oh, you're right. They do have Doom Patrol.
Maybe I should host ComiCast.
Yeah, they have Doom Patrol. My favorite DC show right now is the Harley Quinn show. That thing is hilarious.
I've heard really good things about the animated one, right?
Yeah, the animated one. It's hilarious. If you have access to the DC Universe streaming service, which isn't, I guess, not too expensive, but you definitely go check it out.
You could slide me a login for that.
Hey, real quickly, you want me breaking news because we just got some comments about this, but
yeah,
Kanye
saw.
West is on Twitter right now, and this is as of 9:21 p.m. Monday night when we're recording, and he is losing it right now. So, from
Do you think he heard us talking about him?
I think so. I think we triggered a Kanye tweet storm. So, congratulations to the show for making national news. The first tweet was 16 minutes ago, right when we started talking about it. What?
Well, there was one 30 minutes ago where he posted a screenshot of Halle Berry.
Yeah, and they're like he's
The
doing
pool?
a bunch of screenshots of
Jennifer
Halle Berry,
Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. Then it was Kris Jenner. Don't play with me. You and that Kanye, that's what Kanye calls the Kanye, are not allowed around my children. Y'all tried to lock me up. Everybody knows the movie Get Out is about me.
What the hell?
I put my life on the line for my children that Nort's mother would never sell her sex rape. I put my life on my God that North's mom would never photograph her doing Playboy, and that's on God. I'm at the ranch. Come and get me. Drake emoji, the emoji. Come and get me. This is the Exodus, like Pusha said. On God. Shia is cap. Kim tried to bring a doctor to lock me up with a doctor. If I get locked up like Mandela, y'all will know why. Shia was deposed to do the first Yeezy Gap shoot, and he never showed up. And he just is going. I mean, he's just going on and on. So pretty much, they try to get him help again, and he's not happy.
He posted a screenshot of Kris text with Kris Jenner. It says, "This is Yee. You ready to talk now, or are you still avoiding my calls?"
Jesus, man.
This is not going to end well.
So, I mean,
You think the album gets delayed?
this has to be.
Are you worried about
right?
the album?
I'm curious, bro.
What is he going to call it? 2020?
It's 4 days away, right? Wasn't it supposed to come out on the 24th?
Goodness gracious.
Did he put an album like the? Is it
Track
called The West
list.
Wing?
No, he might have changed it.
No, I think the West Wing tweet is a reference to the White House and him running for president.
Oh, he needs a campaign Twitter then. He needs a Kanye West Twitter, and he needs a election Kanye West.
Elect Kanye West 2020. Jeez, man, this is really sad. It's like it's past the point of funny.
Is it
Is
though?
it sad to you? To me, it's not sad. I don't think it's sad.
You don't think so?
No, not anymore.
It seems like a cry for help.
I think they're trying to get him help, but he doesn't want it. This is Kanye now.
And that's kind of sad, don't you think?
No, I don't think it is. Honestly, if you try your hardest to get somebody help and they don't want the help, what else can you do? If they don't want the change, then you can't do anything about it until they would want the change or need the change in their mind. Like that's it, man. I'm sorry.
I mean, what do you think it is? Do you think it's just like he's just, I don't know. Do you think he's bipolar maybe?
He said he is. Like
he said he was?
Yeah, and he was on medication. And then he said he got better. And it's just convenient that every time he says something dumb, we blame it on the bipolar. Right? Like to me, that's an easy cop out. Sorry. Right? Like I don't know the specifics about him, and you guys might kill me for it. That's fine, but it just seems like this is all every time he says something, you're like, okay, the Harriet Tubman stuff, and now like, okay, we need mental help. When he said the slave stuff at the TMZ office, it was like, okay, now we need help. Like, all right, dude, maybe that's just who he is. Maybe that's him. Maybe that's just the balanced Kanye coming out. So, sorry to cut you off there, Jong. It was breaking.
Oh no, you're good.
People were like, ooh, it's freaking out, and he was freaking out on Twitter. So, the Watchmen. People on this podcast, we love the Watchmen. We've been on your podcast when you weren't there with Michael. We've given our thoughts on it.
Shh, the podcast hasn't dropped.
Oh, it hasn't. It still hasn't dropped.
No, I don't know what's going on. Maybe he hated it, but he hasn't dropped it.
Oh, my bad. I
Wait,
thought
when did you join him?
like 3 weeks ago.
No, we taped a one shot where we talked about Watchmen, the TV show, and he said he would drop it soon, and he never tagged us on any tweets. So,
Oh, I thought it was. I thought I saw it in my feed.
No, it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
He didn't
July
tag-
11th.
Oh, Jose doesn't subscribe to ComiCast.
I am subscribed to it.
Wow.
I am subscribed to it. Don't put that evil on me.
It says
Wow.
It's
it says
right
bonus
there.
edition.
It's right there. It's
Yeah,
right
and
there.
and you didn't know it was there. Wow.
Shame.
Wow. You don't subscribe to our guest podcast. What are your thoughts on Watchmen? For those that don't listen to ComiCast, you can also find Jong's thoughts on there. But since you're on our podcast, tell us.
My favorite show of last year. It was brilliantly done. I'm glad that they're not going to be making a season 2 because it just ended perfectly. Episode 1 is a little slow, and then it starts picking up and stuff that you go back and you watch it again. You'll see stuff that you missed, and that's what I love about the show, where they drop in little hints here and there. And it's my favorite show of last year, and one of my favorite. If it continued and was on the same trajectory, I would feel like it might have been one of my favorite shows of all time. Even in its one season run, I think it's up there as one of my favorite seasons of any show ever. But it was brilliantly done. Regina King was fantastic. She was fantastic. So good. They casted so well in the entire series, from everybody, from like just the naked man running down the street, which turned out to be, I think it turned out to be the
agent, yeah,
right,
Petey.
So yeah, Petey. And this is one of the first shows that got me to read outside of the show. They had the Petey files. HBO would drop that. Yeah. So I would go through those, comb through those to see if there were any like Easter eggs or anything like that. I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, please go and watch it on HBO. It's get a free trial membership for HBO and just go watch it. It's very short. I think it's about 8 episodes.
Yeah, it's 8 episodes. They had it a couple weeks ago, at least when Raheel and I watched it. They had it in front of their paywall. So if you went to the HBO website, you were able to watch it. I don't know if that's still the case, but as Jong mentioned, you should be able to get a free trial and watch it all out.
Yeah, and this is a little embarrassing, and I don't know if I blame myself or blame our school systems, but that was the first time I heard about the Tulsa riots.
Yep, same here.
And
really,
yeah, I did not know that ever happened, and
so
I don't think we've ever learned that in high school.
No, we didn't.
We didn't learn it. Yeah,
I learned it casually in a conversation with Gio Lopez 2-3 years ago. He just like dropped it, and I was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?"
How did Gio know about it?
I don't know. I'd have to ask him. And we just started talking about it, and I was like, "Wait, this actually happened?" And it's like, and that was one of the best parts, if not the best part of the show. Like, that's such an important moment that happened in our history that we don't know about, and it educated so many people about it. And just think of all the things we don't know about in this country. Like, I know that's kind of oxymoronic. I'm saying to think of things you don't know, but you get what I'm trying to say.
And I told you this when we talked about it, Jose. I took an African Americans literature class at UTSA. John, when you and I were there, I took a class there that was at the UTSA downtown campus, and I didn't learn about it there. This was a class focused on African American history and literature, and I didn't know about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's I just thought they were doing that for the show, and then all of a sudden, like, Twitter blows up, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're covering this. Thank you." And then you look it up, and you're just like, "Man, these people just got massacred there in Oklahoma." And that has to be one of my favorite moments of the show, getting to learn about that. Whenever you watch a show and it gets you to go research things outside of the show, that's when it gets good. And then you go down this rabbit hole of, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, and what else in the show is true, and all that stuff, and everything from the cast to the crew to the direction of the show, and just the way that they portrayed everything was just fantastic.
There was also another thing in the pilot. If you notice the map is different. The world map, when I can't remember the protagonist's name, when she goes to the school to do the little egg pastry things, there's a map behind her, and that's like the accurate description of what our world maps should look like. But our world maps are made in the way to where the United States looks bigger than what it actually is.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, what the hell? Like, why is that a thing?
Yeah.
And like, there's country on the standard like maps that we have. I'm not doing this justice, but on the standard maps that we have now, different countries are made to be seen smaller, so we have the perception that they're smaller than they actually are.
Yeah, you saw that. Sorry, there was a clip on social media that showed that, right? Like the Roman Catholic map versus the actual map, and they tell you the history behind it, and you see like Africa is so much bigger than everything, right? But now it looks like the same size as America and South America, and you're like, wait, that's not right. But you see what the actual map looks like. It started like going viral last month.
One recommendation that I do, if you guys haven't seen it, I would go read up on the original comic book series, so you get a background of what they're doing. Because they don't explain much in terms of how they set up the universe. So read up on just a summary of what happened in the comic books, because it's direct play off of the comic books. And if you're really not wanting to spend that time reading and you want to watch something, Zack Snyder's version of Watchmen, the movie, is almost, I want to say it's like a 90% portrayal of the comic series. He just changed the ending of the movie, which pissed a lot of people off. Zack Snyder trying to be the genius that he's not actually. But yeah, just watch the movie and then read the ending to the comic book, and you'll get a good glimpse of what the TV show is going to be.
I actually really, really disliked the movie. My first time watching the movie was after watching the series, and I bought the movie, and I hated it. Like, the soundtrack is like the most generic and cheesy possible soundtrack. Like, there's a sex scene, a Hallelujah. Like, there's the Jimi Hendrix song. The Bob Dylan Times Are Changing. Like, it's such a generic like soundtrack. Like, it's literally like, oh, we need a song for this scene. This is the first song I think of. Let's run it. We don't have time to pick another one.
Zack Snyder visually will do a fantastic job. Not a good storyteller, as you could tell from Batman vs Superman and Justice League. And Watchmen. Watchmen's a very flat movie that doesn't. He thinks he's smarter than everybody else, and that's why his movies are the way they are. But visually, he tells a very good story.
That's a good way of putting it, flat, because that's literally what it felt like. Like the Night Owl, when Night Owl gets into that argument with the comedian, and he just screams, "What happened to the American dream?" Like, and I just kind of looked around my living room, like, what? Like, was that supposed to be a profound thing for him to say at that point? Like, it just feels so flat. And I don't know if that's source material, like from the graphic novel or not. But when he said that, I remember that sticking out. Like, why are you saying that right now? Like, it just felt really flat. Everything about the movie felt. Dr. Manhattan was insufferable in that movie. In the movie.
Well, you didn't like that blue penis like waving at your face?
No, I like the blue penis in the series. Okay, not the blue penis in the movie.
Jose, cut that up when we edit this podcast.
Cut that out.
I'm sorry. I need see, if this was sports radio, it would be, oh, can you cut this up? Hey, cut this up. We need a sounder. All right.
Jose likes the blue penis.
Hey, let's keep playing the sounder. All right, Jose and Jong, I'm going to do a quick quiz with you. Jong, can you stay on, or do you have to go to bed?
No, I'm good.
Okay, let's just finish the show with him. Is that cool, Jose?
Absolutely.
He was saying it wasn't cool, John. I'm just telling you.
That's not what I said.
Well, Jose still had to ask me something, I think.
Yeah, Jose. Okay, Jose, ask your question. Now I want to do a quiz with you guys.
Okay, yeah. So I put on the rundown. I want to share the time I felt like I most disappointed Jong.
Ooh, this is going to be good.
Now, Jong, when I say that, does a story of my career as your mentee, as your employee, immediately pop up to your head, or no? I don't want you to say it, but I want to know if a story pops up in your head. Okay. Oh God, I hope to God it's the same one. If not, it's gonna be awkward. But when I was still trying to make a name for myself, and I was one of Jong's up and coming producers, I got put on a show called the Vince Rochelle Review. That was on Sunday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. And I was still kind of green. I had made a lot of progress. I was getting pretty good because of that show. I was getting a lot better on the mic because I was really timid on the mic. And there was one particular Sunday where Vince had a guest, and the next segment we came back from break, and all of a sudden I couldn't hear anything. And I was really confused why. And after 10 minutes or so, I was freaked out, and I called Jong. And when I called Jong, Vince and his co-host turned to look at me completely freaked out because they have another guest on, and they're like looking at me like completely like waving their hands like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm just kind of like, what's going on? Why can't you guys hear me? Why can't I hear you guys? And Vince Rochelle at this point like throws a piece of paper in the air. I'm like, dude, why is he freaking out? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm so confused what's going on. And his co-host walks out of his studio to walk towards my studio. And as he does that, it occurs to me to look down at the board. My mic has been on the whole time. So for this 10-minute conversation that I'm having with Jong trying to help me figure out what it is that's going on, what's going on, and the reason that I can't hear anything. For those of you who don't know, with radio studios, if the producer mic is on, it shuts off the giant speakers so there isn't an echo. The whole time, my mic was on, and that's why I couldn't hear anything. So over the air, my conversation with Jong was going off.
Yeah, that's not what I was thinking about.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Okay, what's your biggest disappointment story?
Not a disappointment, but I put Jose on the Blitz one time because I was on vacation. I might have been on my honeymoon. I don't remember.
Yeah.
They didn't give
They bullied me.
Yeah,
They
they didn't
bullied
give you a good review. They're like, hey, he was okay. They said made mistakes and stuff like that. So
in my defense, I was 2 months into being a full-time employee, and I was working on a show on SB Nation Radio with a show who that week quit, and I had to help schedule the fill-ins. So as John was trying to teach me to run the Blitz, I was trying to schedule fill-ins for doing stuff that was above my pay grade for SB Nation Radio. But yeah, I mean, I was when I filled in for you, I wasn't ready for that yet.
Yeah.
That was something I wasn't ready for, and every other time I did it after that, I was fine. But that when you went on your honeymoon, I wasn't ready to do that.
There you go. So 2 disappointing stories. We signed up for 1 and we got 2. I love it.
What's Raheel? Raheel must have a disappointment story from
when he said yes to co-hosting this podcast. It's the most disappointed I've ever been in Jose. I was like, it was a test.
You were supposed to say no.
Yeah. No, I don't think Jose's ever disappointed me.
I'm sure I've disappointed you to the point like, oh, why don't you want to do this bit with me? I'm sure I've done something like that, but nothing.
Dude, I have such low standards for you, Jose.
I appreciate that.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys, it's a National Ice Cream Month, so I've got this little what your ice cream flavor says about you. I want to see how accurate this is, okay? And then we'll play Click or No Click, which you can play with us, Jong. So of the 3 flavors, strawberry, vanilla, or chocolate, which one do you love the most, Jong?
Just plain vanilla and plain chocolate?
Yeah, we're going to have to go basic here.
Okay, I'll go chocolate.
Okay, chocolate. And what about you, Jose?
Vanilla.
All right, perfect. So a chocolate lover on average will find love at 26.
Oh, John?
I was 28.
Okay. You are an extrovert.
Yes.
You enjoy romantic comedies.
I ain't mad at it.
Okay, not mad.
Yeah.
And your music, you favor pop music and rock music.
I'd say hip hop and pop.
And K-pop?
I'm not a big.
That's racist.
I mean, I jam to Blackpink here and there, but you know.
I'm sorry, Jong. That was too easy. I had to take it. Sometimes you gotta take the easy jokes. Okay, I'm sorry, Jong. Okay, so 2 out of 4, 2 out of 5 descriptions, 2 out of 4. Okay, vanilla ice cream lover on average finds love at 25.
Ooh. Oh, I mean, I think you did.
Yeah, it
Is it
doesn't say
no?
you keep love, you find love.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay.
Okay.
An
Did I?
introvert? Are you an introvert?
No, I don't think I am.
I don't think you are. You're not anymore. You might have been for a while, but I don't think you are now.
I
You
think I was always shy, not introverted.
okay. You prefer dogs over cats?
Certainly.
Annoying dogs?
I mean, I have a Chihuahua, so yes.
Prefer washing dishes over doing laundry?
No, I don't. Laundry's easy. Laundry, you just press a couple buttons.
And
Wait, hold
you,
up. Do
yeah,
you hand wash all your dishes?
Yeah.
we do in our house now.
Okay, we did, and then when I moved out and got married, I was like, I'm never hand washing dishes ever again. I'm using that damn machine, what it was built for.
So you use the machine every night, or do y'all wait a couple of days?
It depends on how chaotic it gets, but
Okay.
there's certain things that you need to hand wash, like certain pans and
Yeah.
certain cups that are not dishwasher safe. So, but yeah, man, like I never knew what the dishwasher was for until I moved out.
Yeah,
And
the dishwasher in this house,
drying
when,
rack.
It's a
when
drying.
we had one, it was just store stuff.
Yeah.
How about this? I can't even use the dishwasher as a drying rack anymore. I have to. My wife's on this kick of wash the dishes, and then you got to dry them right away and put them up. Like
Oh,
I'm like I'm
jeez.
8.
Well, that's why you never wash dishes, right?
That's why
That's
I
why you never
wash
get
them.
married.
Yeah, it's either you wash the dishes or don't get married, guys. Those are your two options right there. Okay, and your final one, Jose, you're a night owl. Vanilla ice cream lovers are night owls.
I mean, I guess so. I stay up pretty late every day, and I don't like doing stuff early in the morning.
Best ice cream topping? Go.
I don't
Oreos.
mind.
Oreos.
I don't mind some chocolate syrup.
Okay, you going old school.
You can never go wrong with chocolate syrup.
What about you, Jong?
Pecans or
Boba?
the boba? Boba's good. Boba's
Please,
Yo, boba.
please stop.
Dude,
Stop.
there's a place near me that has ice cream boba. They do vanilla ice cream with caramel with caramel syrup and boba ball. Don't hate on boba; it's delicious.
I don't. He's being racist.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm not hating on because I know you like boba, Jong.
love
That's
boba.
why.
No, you didn't know that.
Yes, Jong. Jong and I have talked about boba places before.
I don't think you have.
I
Yo,
love
I had
boba.
I had
like
a Kara Oreo smoothie with boba.
crawfish.
Son, so good, man. Okay, you want to play click or no click before we get out of here, Jose?
Sure, we could play click or no click.
Okay, Jong, how we play this is we give you the headlines and we'll decide, is it worth a click or do we just let the story rest on the headline on itself?
Okay.
All right, easy enough game. Click or no click, 5 stories, and then we're done. Go, Jose.
All right, first up, Alex Trebek once unknowingly ate 5 hash brownies and woke up at a friend's house 3 days later.
I'd click that story.
I want to click it. I want to know how Alex Trebek got 5 hash brownies or hash.
I keep wanting to say hash browns. I've seen this headline actually earlier this week. I never clicked on the story, but every time I saw it, I thought of like hash browns rather than weed brownies, which is what Alex Trebek had.
Can you still get hash anywhere? That's old school.
Why are you talking?
60.
Yeah, watch out,
60s
Fed. You sound like a
Hollywood.
Fed right now.
Go, Jose. Give me more about the story.
So the story won't load for me if
Okay.
if you wanna be the one to read us the story, Raheel.
I closed the rundown because I
got you.
Okay, go, John.
Mickey Rourke blasts punk ass Robert De Niro in a fiery Instagram post.
Whoa.
Give me that click. I'm sorry. I need that click.
Too. I'll click that too.
I need that click. Mickey Rourke. Go for it.
Jose, you back on?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm just having issues loading the stories. So okay, I've got this one. So before I click on it, is this about the big story from De Niro last week about him saying he might go broke this year because he's not going to make the $7.5 million he thought he was?
No, it's not.
Oh boy. Okay. So Mickey Rourke slammed Robert De Niro on Friday, claiming he would embarrass the 76-year-old severely, in quotes, should they cross paths. Posting a photo of De Niro on Instagram, Rourke's put the Irishman actor on blast, claiming, referencing the past comments made about Martin Scorsese's crime dramas. Wait, so this is a beef about them not liking each other's movies?
When was Mickey Rourke in Scorsese?
The story
no
continues
idea.
and says that apparently De Niro blocked Mickey Rourke from appearing on The Irishman.
Oh,
Allegedly.
Oh, that's juicy.
Yeah, allegedly.
Wow. Maybe Mickey Rourke could have beaten up that shop owner a little bit better than De Niro.
He said on an Italian TV show, Martin Scorsese, he called him Marty Scorsese, great director, wanted to meet me for a movie with Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Chris Walken, and Robert De Niro. The casting person told my manager that Robert De Niro said he refused to work with me in a movie, and that's a quote.
And you told an Italian TV station?
Yeah, I guess
Wow.
no American TV station would interview him. I mean, has he done anything since The Wrestler?
We got a huge guest for you guys today, Mickey Rourke on Italian TV. Okay, next headline, Jose.
Oh, okay. Next headline. I lost my business to COVID. Alleged bank robber writes on a note to teller.
I saw this story, so I saw it on 13 this morning. So I already know the story, so I'm gonna go no click on this one. Jong,
I think the headline says it all.
Yeah, I'm gonna click. I'm a sucker. I'm gonna click.
Man,
on
Jong, you are a headline sucker.
Yeah, I am.
I mean, the story's right there. They just told you.
Yeah, the story's headline.
There's not much to this, I think.
Oh, they have the note
right.
and everything.
Well, this actually happened in Houston, Texas. This happened here.
Yeah.
So on July 8th at Wood Forest National Bank, and there's a picture of the note.
Yeah.
And it bothers me that he didn't write within the ledgers of the lines. It's making me really uncomfortable, actually. So the note reads as following. I didn't get a stimulus or that 10K loan. I lost my business to COVID. So please make this easy and comply. I don't want to hurt nobody, but will if I have to. And he's acting like Young Thug, not using punctuation over here. I will have my if I have suspicions and nerves, I will start shooting. So please get the money. Don't make anything noticeable. He writes underlined.
Wow, that's pretty detailed.
Yeah, but he's a left-hand writer.
It's pretty sad, actually.
You can tell. Is this smeared? The left-hand smear.
You could tell by the just the way that the letters are written.
I thought you were getting your master's in journalism, not in handwriting. Jong is a forensic. He's a handwriting forensics expert now. What was that important in? Was it True Detective? Remember they got a forensics guy to like break down handwriting, and that was a huge part of the story.
I haven't seen any of the True Detective seasons.
Wait, you haven't seen season 1 either? Is that what you said?
I haven't seen season 1.
Jong, get you an HBO Max login and please watch season 1. You don't bother with season 2 and season 3. Season 1 is probably some of the best TV you'll ever watch. Period.
I heard it didn't end very well.
No, it ended pretty. It was pretty good.
Okay,
pretty good. Pretty good.
Season 3 was the one that everyone really liked until the ending, right, Raheel?
Yeah, season 3 was all right.
Season 2 was the one people generally didn't like. From what I remember, I didn't watch it either. But from what I remember from Twitter, everyone loved season 3 except for how it ended.
Yeah, season 2 was a disaster. Season 1 was near perfect television. Like it had everything in it. You'll like watch it and let me know what you think. Okay, 2 headlines. Go, Jong. Or sorry, Jose. Jose, you have them up or Jong? Who has them up?
I have them up. So okay. The next one is Alexa, I love you. How lockdown made men lust for their Amazon Echoes. I do not want to click that.
Why?
Don't you want to tell your Echo that you love them and see what happens?
No, I don't have an Echo. I don't want an Echo.
Oh. Alexa, I love you.
That's really sweet.
She called me very sweet.
She didn't
Or-
say she loves you back though. So
No,
Remember
she did not.
I told you I downloaded that app, Jose, the artificial intelligence app.
you
I
did
forgot. Yeah, I told you. I forgot the app name. Is like it's some. It creates a fake, like a person for you, and it starts learning human behavior. It starts learning about your behavior, and it becomes you. I think it's called like robotics or something. It's a Russian app,
not. I'm out.
and like it starts asking you, hey, here's some banking tips, here's some financial tips, and it is creepy. But this app took off because people are lonely, and I can see that happening when you have like, we're lucky, right? Like we've got family, we live with family, our spouses, we got family around, you got friends. A lot of people are just alone, so I could see that taking off where like they're talking to Alexa, and when you've already watched everything on Pornhub, you're like, all right, I guess Alexa will do.
Jose,
So
this is your best friend right here.
That's what you've been up to.
Fun employment, baby. Okay, last story, Jose.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt shocked to test positive for COVID-19 despite not wearing a mask. That's what you get.
Nope, not clicking it. Not clicking it.
Nope.
Round of applause for him.
Yep, dumbass.
You
Yeah.
moron. Just like that story of that guy, I think in San Antonio, who went to a COVID party.
Yep.
Which is, for those who don't know, the COVID parties are where people go meet up to literally get infected. He's 30 years old. He got it and he died. I feel nothing for him. I feel no sort of sympathy for him.
It's very similar to Herman Cain. He went to Trump's rally. I think it was Trump's rally. So he went to some rally with his family.
Yeah,
no mask.
It was the one in. It was the Tulsa one. He went to the Tulsa one.
Yep, sat like right there, no mask. And of course, a couple days later, he gets tested positive for COVID.
It's gonna happen.
No sort of sympathy.
There's a reason why science is undefeated, guys. Just saying. Like the same science that we're using to make this broadcast work and how you're listening, it's the same science. Scientists. Okay? Like I get it. But it makes sense. You're like, oh, okay, I didn't wear a mask. You're gonna get it when you're around people. You're gonna get it. Sorry. All right. We're done. Jong, thank you so much. How can people listen to the podcast and follow you?
You can go to any major podcast platform and look for ComiCast. Is COMICAST, which Raheel has on the screen. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, which we started doing. Thank you, Jose. We started doing 2 YouTube videos a week as well. You can go to ComiCast Video on YouTube. You can follow us there too, and you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at One Punch 3_ because I guess the TV show must have a hold on that One Punch because there's no username by that name, and I had to use 3_.
Why 3? Why not just 1?
It was gone. I guess they won't let me do it. I'm guessing the people that run the show must have put like a hold on every single one of those.
Oh, gotcha. Dang. Yeah. All right,
so they put a hold on One Punch _ and One Punch 2_. I figured that'd be enough.
Yep.
Yeah. And by the way, it's like an actual underscore, not at One Punch 3 written out underscore. I just want to, it's also in the description of this episode. Jong, thank you so much, man. Nice talking to you. Best of luck.
Miss you, Jong.
We
miss you guys.
Man. All right. We'll talk to you later. Jose, we are done. Nice. Thank you for the kiss there. That was nice. Jose, we are done. Next Monday, we will catch up again. And until then, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to follow us. We're pretty much there. Don't forget to get your Spicy Boy mask in the description of this episode. I'm going to send some out on Tuesday. So if you get them here pretty late, make sure you get them and I will send them out. Jose, I'll talk to you later, man.
Stay spicy.